Hello and welcome to City Focus. I'm Diane Gonzalez. If you've been to City Hall in the last couple of years, you may have noticed an addition on the first floor, visual art. The building is now hosting several exhibits a year, and my guests today are Liz Shea McCoy, who has coordinated the exhibits, and Jana Harsh of Impact Nebraska Artists, which has the show that's up right now through November called Dead or Alive. Thank you both very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
And Liz, I'm going to start with you. Tell us how the exhibitions here at City Hall got started.
Judge Ott came, I saw Judge Ott just kind of in passing, and he said, you know, we really need artwork in the judicial area of City Hall, right? And so I started working with the Lancaster Board, County Board, Building Commission. And it just didn't seem to fit in over the judicial area. We had to go through security, and there were some obstacles. But then we came over to this space on first floor in the County City building. The natural lighting is beautiful. There was a long wall. It just seemed like it was meant to be. So after many, many meetings, we established the gallery, and the first exhibition was in September of 2012. So we're in the third year.
And what is the goal of having the art here?
Well, it's public art. It's a great space for people who work in the building, for people that visit the building, to happen on amazing original art. And so it just seemed the point is to get art in public spaces so it can be enjoyed and perhaps purchased.
Now the show that's up right now, again, it's called Dead or Alive, and it's by Impact Nebraska Artists. And Jana, first of all, tell us what your organization is.
It's a group of 25 professional artists from all across the state. We have to be juried to be in, and the qualifications are some sort of regional and or national exposure in your professional artistic life. So then that group, the idea, the whole point of Impact is to promote Nebraska artists. So we're a little bit on the same line as in terms of promoting work here within the building. We also we try to book our shows across the state and regionally.
So this is a perfect fit for this particular
Absolutely.
show. What's the idea behind Dead or Alive?
Well, we like to have a theme that maybe intrigues people, because what we're trying to do is intrigue gallery directors also, like Liz. And so Dead or Alive specifically was members got to pick someone from history, famous or not, dead or alive, who has impacted them and their life as an artist. So that's where the whole variety came in. There's a lot of portraiture, of course, with this perhaps, but not necessarily.
Not necessarily your piece, which is right in front of us now.
Yeah.
Tell us about it, because it doesn't have any faces in it.
No, it doesn't. I chose Mari Sandoz. So she's someone who's perhaps more well known as a Nebraskan, and her book, The Horse Catcher, it made an impact on me. I love to read, and a lot of my other work is figurative work that involves horse figures, and that theme and being from the Sandhills, where she was from and where the book is set, is what made a big impact with me. The piece is on aluminum, and so it's called Riding the Horse Catcher. So the background here is the scenes from the book and the wild horses and the Native American person who's the horse catcher, who the book was about. And then I thought the idea of that when I did some research, that she was actually writing it from when she lived in New York. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So this is the hands on her hands writing the book.
We might need to explain to our younger viewers that thing in the middle there. That's a typewriter. That's what we used to use.
A manual typewriter, not even an electric one. Yes.
And by creating this on aluminum, it's got just a beautiful sheen to it. Did it achieve the effect that you were wanting?
I hope so. I like the idea of with figurative paintings, whether it's horses or people or hands or whatever, it's movement. And working on any metal surface, aluminum or copper or steel, whichever I might use, for me lets things change as the viewer changes, as the light changes. So this piece looks one way here under the lights in the studio. If you walked by it, if you panned by it out there, it'll look completely different.
Now, Liz, in addition to being the exhibition coordinator, you are also an artist and a member of this group. So you have a piece in the show, too, and I think she needs very little introduction, but go ahead and tell us about your piece.
Well, my piece for the Impact Show is Willa Cather, and it's a combination of woodcut and graphite. And the background is actually from one of her books, My Antonia. It shows the prairie. She won the Pulitzer Prize in 1923. She was a Nebraskan that wrote about frontier life in Nebraska. And this was a time that wasn't easy for a single woman or women in general to achieve great things. And so I loved this picture of her. I thought it was stunning. I loved the hat. I loved the jewelry. I loved the details, the pearls. And I think it shows a very sophisticated Willa Cather. And one of my residencies as a Nebraska artist in residence was in Red Cloud. So I experienced the town that she has put on the map too in Nebraska for what she did. So it's nice for me to participate as an artist as well and not just an administrator. So I was quite honored first to be recently selected for Impact, and then when they were juried into the show, I was doubly proud.
Did you see the exhibit at the Historical Society when they had her clothing there?
I did not.
She loved fancy clothes.
I
so-
know. I know. Well, I did not see that, but anyway, this is.
It's really beautiful, and it's another one that you really need to see in person, I think, to really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And City Hall's open all the
And
time, so
we're
it's a
up
great
through
space.
November.
That's right. That's right. Well, you both chose to do authors, but tell us about some of the other people who are featured. Some maybe not so well known.
Well, it's a really wide variety. I think there are several. The point was that dead or alive, they made an impact on you and your career as an artist or on your life. So naturally, there are some personal choices. There are a couple of husbands, a mother. There's Marge Sizer, who's a pretty well-known Lincoln poet. There's the person who invented the vice grips, whose name just escaped me. I love that piece.
Yeah, I think some of the people who come to
Peterson.
City
Thank you, Liz.
some of the people who come to City Hall will go, well, why is there a vice grip on the wall? But it's really a fascinating story.
And also, there's a big bug there, which I think is amazing. And
Locust?
The locust, yes. People look at that and go, what is that? But that is a Nebraska entomologist. And you've got his name there, too.
Well, it was William Peterson, the inventor of the vice grip, and Lawrence Brunner, the father of Nebraska entomology.
So everybody has some really interesting personal takes on a theme, and that's part of what makes Impact a really interesting group, is we have different themes, and everybody can come at it from a different way. We have a Lewis and Clark theme. We had a show that goes with Ted Kuzer's poetry. Our most recent one is Bare Bones, and that can go a lot of directions. So it's a great show to come down and look at and check out why each person picked and chose who was this and how does this relate to your art into Nebraska.
I actually know one of the women who was depicted, Nellie Snyder Yost,
Oh,
who wrote
yes.
Evil Obsession. She was
Yeah.
a Nebraska author, and I interviewed
Yeah,
her
that's
shortly before she died, maybe 20 years ago. So it
Patsy
was,
Smith's piece, Patsy
Yes.
from North Platte, yes.
she was just a wonderful lady and a very good writer as well, so I was pleased to see that one. So let's talk a little bit, Liz, about how the shows are selected, because there is a process that people need to go through to be selected, and the decision's made only once a year, so there's only one
right.
chance a year.
Proposals from Nebraska artists are due on June 1st. And then the jury, made up of you as a representative from the mayor's office, me, and two others that are an artist. It varies as far as the artist, but there's 4 jurors. We look at all of the CDs of artwork submitted by Nebraska artists, and what we do is select 4 artists. They are given a 3-month exhibition period and 100% of whatever they sell. So this truly is, I mean, it's a relatively new exhibition space, just as I said, since 2012, but it really is the best kept secret because artists have a First Friday celebration and 3 wonderful months to have their work up in Lincoln, where there's a lot of traffic. So June 1st, I'll put out the call to artists, but if you can keep that in mind, my information's on the screen if you have any questions. But I really think what you should do too, if you're interested, is come down and see the space. And that in itself will make you feel very excited for the opportunity to exhibit your work in a beautiful space with lots of traffic, and you get 100% of whatever you sell.
And the First Friday events are really fun because usually we get to hear from the artists or their representative. The exhibition space, again, here is at City Hall, also known as the County City Building. It's 555 South 10th Street. And you can come see the exhibit anytime that City Hall is open. Now, if you want to know more about the program or how you might submit, lancaster.ne.gov is the website. You just click on the link for property management. Again, that link is property management, and you'll find a public art link on that. You can also contact Liz. Her number there is on the screen, 430-5923, and her email address then as well. Again, the show from Impact Nebraska Artists will be up through November, and I see something new every time I come down to the first floor. It's always fun. Thank you both very much for being with us, and
Thanks,
thank you for
Diane.
joining us for City Focus.